So I just finished my boss ass PS5 controller build, and I gotta say, it's looking super fly, super clean, super slick. I think it's just absolutely incredible. But I did kind of want to take a little bit of a step backwards and talk about some of the things that Series X can do that PS5 just simply can't do. This is probably one of the more important things anyone on YouTube will ever tell you. You're allowed to have two external hard drives running at the same time, expanding your storage dramatically. So essentially, I've got two, one's a 5 terabyte drive, one's a 4 terabyte drive, but essentially it's 6.6 terabytes in total when you factor in the system storage and all that good noise. But the fact that Xbox lets you do this, and moreover, transfer between each unit of external hard drives, means that I can take game saves that I don't want on one external and put it on the other. And I'm literally doing this right now. This is such a big deal because I was trying to do this on PlayStation 5, but I couldn't. I literally ran into a brick wall and it pissed me off so very much because when you're trying to move your game saves around, you want it very easy and you don't want to sit there struggling. Another thing is, you do not have to have a wire connected to update your controller. Everything's wireless. Xbox literally just prompted me when I turned on the Series X and said, hey, your controller needs an update, just hit OK, and then it's just starting the update. Where on PlayStation, I've got to hook up this stupid USB and let it manually update that way through a wire. It just feels like a more dated experience on a newer console. Now let's kind of talk about the elephant rhino in the room. It's backwards compatible with every generation of Xbox. So I'm playing cool 360 games like all my old Crysis games, right? And people are waiting to repurchase it and play the remastered version. I can just play it here if I choose to. I mean, I have so many options with the back compat program that, again, PlayStation doesn't have. And the big thing for me, the hugest thing of all, games like Star Wars Battlefront 2 get a major update to be able to support 120 hertz. And this isn't the only game like that. If you're talking about the thing that these consoles were sold on, which is variable refresh rate, VRR, 4K, 120 hertz experiences, Xbox is leading there because, again, PlayStation only has a handful of games that even can hit up to 60 FPS right now because, again, that's just PlayStation's direction, I guess. They rather push resolution, and sometimes that makes them go down to 30 with the ray tracing, and it's pretty annoying sometimes when you have that as a limitation. Now, I'm not going to say that everything on PlayStation is terrible. Of course it's not. Unfortunately, every time you unplug the PlayStation 5's hard drive or external hard drive and you don't go in and manually remove it the way they think would be proper, it'll tell you that it needs to repair. Now, what's so BS about this is I actually went into the menu and I pressed safely dismount the PS5 or unmount PS5's external hard drive option. And, when I did that, I thought it was good to go, and now I'm being told I need to repair my USB drive. This is a common thing that's just an annoyance that slows down gameplay. And again, like I was saying before, it's not like everything's bad on PS5. It truly isn't, but there are a lot of things that have gone wrong. For example, I literally just got this home menu that booted up, right? And now you're seeing PS5 say unsupported disk. I wonder what that unsupported disk is. I'm going to go ahead and hit eject. What's unsupported right now? Then we get up and we walk over, and it is Gran Turismo. Amazing. So Gran Turismo's unsupported? No, that's not the case. It's just glitching, and I have to eject it and put it back in on first boot. Otherwise, I won't be able to play it. Wait for it to load up again, and then it's playable. These are the kind of glitches that PlayStation has that Series X does not have. You literally dive in and you just start playing right away. Now, just so you see I'm not full of it, here's another external hard drive. We're about to plug it into the PlayStation 5, right? Okay, so now that we did that, we're going to sit back here. We're going to have our trusty, dusty controller looking so clean, okay? And it's not registering. You don't see extended hard drive capacities go up like it would on Series X, where you get so much more. I mean, this is the PlayStation experience. And again, I hit safely remove from PS5 last time I wanted to unhook one of my extended hard drives, but you can only have one at a time. This level of limitation is ridiculous because it limits your gameplay options. And again, it puts you at such a disadvantage when you need to move games from one external hard drive to another as you maybe buy a new one or whatever the case may be. Again, Microsoft not giving you that limitation. I'm not a Sony pony, I'm not an Xbot, but I do know damn well when I'm being restricted. And I'm pointing this out for people who maybe don't know so that you can see the difference between the experience that you will have between one console to the other. You see, I'm not just saying this to pick on PlayStation, but look, this is what I'm talking about. 2 hard drives right there recognized in the system in the same area where PlayStation couldn't even recognize it the moment I plugged it in. A significantly larger amount of storage space to play with. These things will impact this generation, and you're crazy if you think otherwise, because if you're like me, you're not running out to buy some, SSD so you can hoard all your games onto one system just to need more SSD storage. And by the way, if you buy a 2 terabyte storage drive, you're really only getting like 1.8 gigs of storage. So really, you're not solving too much of your problem. Where if you have an external hard drive that's 5 terabytes and you basically get 4.5 terabytes, then you move your games back and forth as you play them, and you play the most popular ones in your system, that gives you more flexibility. Microsoft is way ahead of the curve in that. And again, that sounds small, but that's one of my big gripes right now. Moving things on PlayStation is a pain in the ass, and everybody will tell you, oh, just pay for the cloud service, it's easier that way. If I need to pay for cloud service for your system to be viable, there's a problem, because it's supposed to work regardless. And that's just real, right? That's what everybody says. A lot of people were saying their experience has been so much easier, but these limits are still going to exist. The simple fact that Microsoft allows you to check off things like 50 hertz, 24 hertz, ALLM, variable refresh rate, chroma sampling, allow Dolby Vision, HDR10, and to allow 4K or not, which you can do on PlayStation, and you can disable HDR or not on PlayStation, but not allow the specific type of Dolby Vision, right down to the very specifics. The fact that you can go in to video fidelity mode and change your color depth to 12-bit, 10-bit, 8-bit, whatever you really want, right? You can go into PCRGB. You can do all this stuff. I mean, you can do PCRGB full and stuff like that on PlayStation, but the color depth and the VRR capabilities, this stuff is missing on PlayStation. And this is a fundamental violation of everybody who's expecting 120 hertz on PS5, because the reason people want variable refresh rate is because it's not locked. Nothing's powerful enough to run a locked 120 FPS. So when you're playing 120 FPS on PlayStation, your frame rates are going to lead to screen tearing, jitters, inconsistencies that variable refresh rate was intended to fix. The fact that Sony doesn't have it is, again, something that's limiting you. When I say that Xbox right now is better than PlayStation, I'm not giving an opinion. I'm giving a real fact based off of all of the things that I've run into. The glitches, the crashes, the freezes, the incompatibility with certain games, hard drives not working, can't use 2 at the same time. I mean, I could go through a laundry list of things that are so much more inconvenient on PlayStation right now than Xbox. And I put all this stuff out there to really help and see maybe if PlayStation or somebody in PlayStation can fix this. But ultimately speaking, I also do it to level the playing field, because so many people like to talk about how wonderful PlayStation is all the time without ever giving it any kind of critique, and it needs it. It needs it so it can be fixed, and that's what I'm doing here today. PlayStation's got a lot of room to grow. It's far from perfect, and right now they are trailing behind Xbox for that reason. Games like Miles Morales are fun. As you can see here, it's a very beautiful game, but again, it takes more than Miles Morales and first-person stories to really sell an experience. And again, Sony really needs to make sure that when they are selling experiences, they are giving you the basics like your hard drives and your game saves and stuff like that, without forcing you to pay or upgrade or any of that other nonsense. And they shouldn't be charging $30 to upgrade to the PS5 version when Xbox will give you the new version of your game for absolutely free. That's all I have to say for now. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty, but for all these reasons, this is why PlayStation is losing to Xbox Series X. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later.